Hello, my friends. This is Sandy, and this video is going to walk us through my Celebratory Sips 12 card workshop. So if you get my kit, here's what comes in it. You get one of the globes. You get a bag full of goodies. And inside this bag are some things you're going to stamp in the front. So you've got a stack of, if you start with a 4x4 and pull everything up, these are all things you're going to stamp. And then these, including the 6x6, are all things you're going to cut out. You won't necessarily need all of the pink and blue flowers, but you could. So up to you if you want to. Everyone's glasses are a little bit different. You like, for example, this one may or may not have ice cubes in it. This one may or may not have ice cubes in it. So that's what I mean different. You still have the same basic shapes. So you can cut these out and you can get these ones stamped. And to help you with how to stamp, I've done a cheater sheet. So on this one, you'll stamp up in the corner. This one, you want to stamp right in the middle, the circle right in the middle. And if you decide you want to use, so I stamped everything with the Cheers and Sips stamp set. If you don't have this, come on over and you can use mine. Or it's still available. You can purchase it online. Um, or you can improvise. Now, with these things down here, I stamped all of these in Memento Black so that they're easier to color in whatever way you want to color them. But all of these, you really do need this stamp set to complete that part. The ice cubes are also in there, but all of the sentiments, you can do any kind of sentiments you want. So get working on that part. Oh, and I just wanted to point out really quick too, I used the Nested Essentials dies to cut these shapes out. You'll notice that's a really handy, useful die set to have. So I wanted more birthday cards. So I used some of the Cheers and Sips, but I also pulled in beautiful butterflies, just the happy birthday and the hello from that stamp set. So, um, obviously super easy way to mix and mingle stamp sets. I also used a bunch of markers to color all of my little embellishments. So the green is Old Olive. I did use a little bit of real red on the cherry and in the dot in the olive. Cloud covers what I used for the umbrella. Two different colors, the timid tiger and pumpkin pie to color the orange. The inside's timid and the outside is the pumpkin pie. Then the gorgeous grape is what I used for the berries. Strawberry is strawberry slush. And then for this glass right here, I colored it using the petal pink and then went over top of it with the Wink of Stella to give it that shimmery look. So we are going to get started on our cards. Make sure you take all of your card bases and fold them in half. They're all standard folds. Grab yourself some shaker embellishments. We're going to do shaker cards first. So I've pulled the contents from our first envelope and I've grabbed these four embellishments from the pieces that we cut from that 6x6 piece. That's also part of that. And then you've got these 6 tabs that were in the envelope. So I ran these 6 tabs through the embossing folder, the glass and garden embossing folders, and sanded some and inked others. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to leave these just the way they are. And using my scissors, I'm going to dovetail each one. So if you cut up from the center and then over to the point or over to that, for each one of those, you'll get your dovetails on all 6 of those pieces. That's step 1. Once you've got those dovetails done, get that green piece on there and you can start adding all of your little tabs. Now there's a little bit of space in between and you may want to, what I'm going to do is put this purple one on and the blue, and that way I'm working toward the middle. Littler space. I've got bigger space on the edges and less space as we get toward the middle. And I may have to pop these up and move them, but the spacing looks pretty good. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so we've got our hanging tabs there. Then the fruit strip goes just a smidgen above the bottom of that green so you can see the green line underneath there. Now we're going to take our circle. You've only got one circle in all of your stuff. And I'm going to put, you know what, I'm going to use, when you are doing these bulbous dome-shaped shakers, you can use the dots. What are these called? These are iridescent dots, champagne iridescent dots. But these are really thick if you're going to do something smaller like what we're going to do over here. So I'm just going to use one shaker embellishment for the sake of time and video space here. We're just going to use the same one for both of these. And this one does have some of those bigger bowls in it. So it's okay in this one, but when we get to that next card, we'll have to pull those out. So this has a really cool feature. It's got a double-sided tape application on both the inside and the outside. So I just pulled the rim off of the bottom part of the dome, and now I'm going to put that dome on my circle. And you'll notice the circle is bigger than the dome, which is good so that we can go around and make sure that's sticking really well. And then use my scissors to get at this. There's an adhesive sheet on the outer part too. Pull that outer rim from there, and then this piece goes right on there, covers up the overlap, and hides what we don't want to see. So then that makes this part really easy, right? We're just going to put our adhesive and you'll have to hold it because it's not very flat. Now you may, excuse me, notice that this is probably not good to mail. It's pretty thick. That is probably a card that I would hand to someone over mailing. Okay, so we've got that. Then you can use foam tape if you want, or you can just lay these flat and putting the lemon near the yellow part. The strawberries are going to go near the red. Then we've got our green and purple that are going to kind of go down here with the blue and the purple. And that finishes up that card. So you can see a little more embellishing here than on here, but still gorgeous. And again, watch out when you go to mail those. Let's move on to our next shaker card. So I've pulled out all the pieces from the next envelope. So you'll notice on this heart, you want the side that pops up. So on this card, that's on this side, but on this card, it's on this side. You want, if I flipped this over, the embossing is poking down. So I really want it to pop up. And I'm going to use my sanding block and just rub it over top. And that's going to reveal that white core where I've embossed that piece for you. And everyone's is already embossed to make life a little easier during class time. Isn't that elegant? I just love how that looks. So again, this particular card's on this side. This card's going to be reversed. There's a couple out there that are like this. Most of them are done this way. I just got a little careless toward the end there and ran out of cardstock to make more. So we're going with what we got. So I am putting adhesive around the inside part of the heart, and I'm adding that plastic 4x4 piece inside of there. And if you didn't do a good job of lining up the plastic, that's okay. Just give a little snip along the edge, making sure you're not cutting the paper, only the plastic. Okay. And then we can take that black heart, and that's going to go on the inside of the heart, overlapping the plastic. So that goes like that. Then you've got that pink piece that you're going to dovetail. And it's going to touch. Actually, we need to figure out the card first. So don't put this one on there yet, but it can get dovetailed. We are going to grab our 4x4 square and tape that to the inside of our card, and then just make sure before you tape everything down firm that that's going to show your happy birthday. If you needed to move that piece up or down, you certainly could cut a little off the top if you need to. Now what I'm going to do is take my foam tape, and I'm going to run foam along the bottom and along the sides and top to create the shaker element to this card. Not very straight, but no one's going to see it but you and me. Okay, so now we've got that shaker element. I'm also going to put just a couple little anchors down here so the bottom of our card doesn't sag. Okay, then I'm going to take my shaker goodness and I'm going to put that right over the happy birthday. And then again, I'm going through in any of these ones that are kind of thicker, I'm pulling out because this is a shorter shaker than those domes are. Okay. I like the amount of shaker we've got there. Hopefully it'll all work out for me. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I keep it toward the middle where the heart is going to be, so that when I pull the backing off of this, it's not going to touch that shaker stuff, because then it won't seal if the shaker stuff's underneath there. So I want to make sure I've got it square on the card. There we go. Now we've got our shaker. Did end up with another thick one. See how there's that little ball right there? That circle? That circle is there because it's one of the thicker ones and it's not going to move. It's going to end up staying right in that spot. Okay, now I want to cover up the spot that's a little more, that's plain, right? So I'm going to have that come this way. And then from our goodies, we're getting these pieces that all got cut out of that flowery piece. So we've got a stem. And this one, I'm going to go up this way, right? I'm doing a kind of a mirrored image of this card. Couple of little flowers. I want a blue one up here. Blue one down here. And I'm going to put a pink one kind of up in this area. Then I took a black journaling pen. Ooh, this needs a little more tape. I took a black journaling pen and started at the edge of the embossed flower and ran that journaling pen double line squiggly around the edge. just to finish that card off. And we can move on to our next one. So I started this one by taking that pattern paper and put it right on the card front. And this I stabbed with scissors right in the middle. And now I'm going to rip it. And I'm ripping the guts out of the middle of this glitter so that we've got these fun kind of jagged insides revealing this. It's going to reveal this paper underneath. I'll bring this over so you can see what I'm talking about, right? Here's the card we're working on. So I'm just ripping the guts right out of the middle of that glitter. Now, if you're good, you probably could find a way to save some of that and use it again. I'm not gonna, it's just going on the ground right now. Okay, so then this piece overlaps, goes right to the edge, is going to overlap the edge of that paper. Ooh, too high. Get that lined up a little better. Gorgeous. So your sentiment, whatever you're going to stamp, is going to go on that orange piece, however yours falls, right? Everybody's is going to be a little bit different. Pull some of that off too. Yeah, I just love it. I think it's such a cool look and not something we would normally do, right? It's a little out of the usual. Get some more of this color up top. Okay. Then you're going to want your lemonade glass, and you can use foam tape to prop that up, or you can just leave it flat. Totally up to you. We need one of the orange rinds that we cut out of the 6x6 piece of paper. One of these pieces here that we also cut out of that 6x6 paper. And the cherry that we stamped and colored. So that creates that little cluster there. And the only thing you have left to do is stamp it, and that one's done. Ooh, I don't know if you saw that, but that was hanging off the edge, and you don't want stuff hanging off the edge of these, because then you can't fit your card in the envelope. There we go. So really quick, right? This next one's going to start the same way. You're going to put the paper down and then rip that purple piece. So that went down, I stabbed the middle, and now I'm just tearing around the edges of that purple. Not really the edges, I'm tearing the inside out of the purple. A little more of this corner to show, so I'm just going to come in a little bit more so you can fussy with it a little bit. Okay, now I'm putting the tape on the side that doesn't have the white revealed, because I want that white tearing to show. Now, you could do it the other way, and that would look cool too. All right, we're lining these up corner to corner. It's going to cover the entire white edge. All right, now we need our glass that has the umbrella on it. Everybody's got one with the umbrella. All right, let's stick that one down. I'm overlapping the purple down here. You can use foam tape if you want. I'm grabbing my double cherries. I'm going to put them down here with another pink flower and a blue flower. Ooh, I may have already used all my blue flowers, or it's upside down. No, I'm not going to use a blue flower because I don't have one right now handy. All right, we've got our rectangle piece that fits inside this pink rectangle piece. So not this one, right? It's too big. Mine says hello. This is overlapping the edge of the card. So it looks like that sentiment is hanging right off the edge there. Then you've got another cluster of flowers, and we're going to use the piece that we stamped and colored as the green for up in this corner. So whatever flowers you've got left, you can throw up here with them. This one, obviously, I went around the edges and did dash marks with my white gel pen all the way around the edge, just for a nice little finishing touch. Obviously, right? It really jazzes up the card a bit. Let's grab our next one. All right, with this one, we're starting with our pink piece all the way down, take to the base of the card. You decide if you want to go light or dark with this. Then you're going to take that green piece of paper and tear down both edges. The long sides there. And then this is going through the center of the card. I did do with my white gel pen, I did dash marks down the edge of both the left and the right. You've got these two rectangle pieces of flowery paper. You're going to pull those about a ½ inch down from the top and up from the bottom, lined right up in the middle. Then we've got this green piece of paper that is going right in the middle of those two pieces, with the piece of paper that lines up with that shape, giving you that frame. We've got this glass that's got the mint sprigs in it that will go up top here. Some strawberries. I'm going to just use this big honkin' strawberry here. Then we've got the orange that we colored and the orange rind that we cut out. That'll go down here. So the only thing that I haven't done to finish this one off is the journaling lines across or down the edges. Let's do this one next. So I've attached the flowers to the front of the card, and I've attached that purple strip to the front of the green. Now I'm putting this at an angle so that all four corners are hanging off the edge, right? We've got one corner, one corner, one corner, one corner. So now when I flip it over, I'm going to be cutting off along the edges there. So that it looks like the banner goes right across. We've got our purple that's going to go up top, straight as you can get it. And you've got a shape that fits perfectly right in there. Two glasses. We need a purple glass that doesn't have anything in it. Let's see, oh, I've got a darker one. I'll use the darker one. That one's got ice cubes for mine. Yours may or may not. And then I'm going to use this floral cup. So this one I want further up from the bottom. This one's going to overlap that one and be closer to the bottom. And then we've got that longer sprig that we stamped that's going to be coming out of this glass and being a part of that cluster right there. Easy, right? I love these cards. They go together nice and quick, but they look so elegant. We did all the prep work ahead. That's probably why it feels like it's quick. So I've attached this piece to the card, and now I'm going to take this purple or this pink piece. I want to make sure I'm covering up the corner, and I want to be covering up, make sure the tip is off the edge. So now when I flip it over, I'm cutting off along the bottom. And up the side. Right, so that gives us that lovely little diagonal piece in the corner. And now when we add our black right along there, that's going to hang off the edge of both sides and fill in that spacing. It's definitely easier to flip over your piece when you're doing your cutting. All right, so we want this about 1 inch over and 3/4 of an inch down from the top, overlapping the black piece. Our sentiment's going to go right in the middle there. We may have to move that over because our glass is kind of tall. Oh no, we're good. All right, so the pinkish glass, again, may or may not have ice cubes. This one doesn't, this one does. Just depends on where your pieces fell in place on the when I was cutting out all the pieces, right? I'm gonna go right there with it. I normally would put it a little bit higher into there, but I don't want to cover up my happy birthday. We've got the lime and the lemon that are connected. I'm going to overlap down in this corner. The strawberry that we stamped is going to go right up in here. And then one of the blackberries from the cutout piece goes there. To finish this one off, I did little dots along the bottom part of the black. Isn't that fun? So if you wanted to, you could run this purple piece, this lighter colored purple, through the embossing folder and rub ink over top of it to create that dimension. I'm not going to for the sake of the video. So here I've got the flowers on one side, the purple piece on the other, and I want more purple showing. So I'm going to put my green strip overlapping the purple, trim off the extra. Then we've got our purple tab, the lighter purple that goes about 1 inch down from the top, flush against the right edge. Then we've got our stamped piece and the lightest purple, or the darkest purple, the smallest one, smallest little tab there is going to, I'm going to butt it up to that because I stamped right down to the bottom. Then we've got, I put a little half of a lime right in here, and I'm going to move this up so that you don't notice that I didn't do that quite right. We've got our green glass that has the mint in it that will go down here. Some cups, some of the, I'm going to move this over this way. Some of the glasses have the mint on the right, some have it on the left. So you'll just have to improvise depending on which cup you have. We've got that sprig that we stamped and colored that's going to also be coming out of that same glass. Oh, I want to move it over a little bit. Yeah. Tape down my mint so it's not wiggly. And then to finish this one off, I did the double journal lines of white gel around the edge and used just a little bit of white gel to do little dots kind of around this sprig of flower. Yay, let's do our next one. Cheers to you. So purple and then the flowers on the card front. I really like the way the journaling lines add to this card. So I really wanted to make sure I had that on there before I tape this piece down. So this is going right in the middle. Then we've got this green piece. It's only getting angled very, very slightly. So you want to make sure, again, that all 4 points are coming off the edge. and then trim. And then we've got this pink piece that's going to line right up to it. On this pink piece, again, I used that white gel pen and did dot, dot, dot along the bottom. I just think it adds an extra little bit of layering and fun to your card. All right, here we go. We've got our iced tea. And we've got our pinkish colored, peachish colored glass. Overlapping that. We need our pick to go right down in this glass. I'm going to actually do it on the over it. And I want that olive to look like it's been stuck right through the center of this pick. And then we've got some sprigs down here. So this one here is the one that we stamped that I want coming out of there. And then these ones all came from that. It's whatever you've got left here. Running out of pieces. Isn't that wonderful? I'm just going to kind of tuck underneath there to create this foundation for all of that to be sitting on. All right, fun, fun, fun. We'll do this next one. Starts the exact same way where we've got that purple piece with the pattern going right over top of it. So I'm going to put my adhesive on here. And line that right up. Then our fruit piece goes next. And then we've got this green lined piece that will come across there with the glitter going straight across it. And you can use the lines on that piece to help line everything up for you. Turn it over, cut those pieces off. We've got this purple tab. It's going to overlap that green piece so that you don't have that white showing down here in the triangle. Your stamped words fit right inside that frame, hopefully straight and not crooked like mine. Then I've got a little strawberry that I want to put on near that sentiment, help tie in all those colors. And I've got my glass that has the orange on it and the the blackberry that we stamped. I'm going to put in that glass too. We're going to do a little more sanding on this one. So I've put the blue along the bottom, that fun glasses and bottles kind of paper up there. This I'm going to overlap the blue because I really like that pattern paper and I want more of that showing. Then we've got this piece that was run through the embossing machine, so it's got fun textures on there. It's going to go down in this corner. Ooh, we want to tuck this heart underneath the corner of that. This glass is going to cover up that little bit of blue in the middle there, where that all comes together. We've got this happy, well, whatever you stamped on that bluish colored paper that you're going to tape down in this corner. And then this one you can dovetail, or I'm just going to do a little bit of an angle on it, because that's just easier. And then I'm going to line this one underneath there. So it looks almost like it's extending that line. And then we've got our umbrella. Again, if you want to use foam tape, you can. I'm going to overlap all that there. So to finish this card off, I took my white gel pen and did really close dots all along the edge. That's it. And we are now on our last card for this project. We've got that dark blue piece that covers up the whole card front. The orange goes on that. Then this fun pattern piece goes on top of there. I ran this through the embossing folder to give it some texture. Not going to do it on this one, but you certainly could. You want that little extra dimension to it. All right, so we've got this piece that was run through the embossing folder, and I've got this one angled a little bit in, so it looks like these two are cheersing each other. All right, so this one's going to angle in that way, so they're cheersing. We've got, what fruits do you have left, friends? That's how we're doing this part. I've got my lime or lemon and my ice cubes that are going to go down in here. And I only have some cherries left, so I'm going to put a couple cherries down here and one cherry up top after I add my hello. I've now used up all the pieces that I've cut. And then to finish off this card, I took the white gel pen and did dot marks. Let me see if I can bring that up close so you can, oh yeah. I did dot marks inside some of the diagonal lines just to enhance the look there. And I did black journal line around the orange piece. That's it, friends. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I look forward to seeing comments. Tell me what you think. Show me what you've created with the Celebratory Sips and Cheers and Sips collection.